2026 is where AI is going to start getting a little bit more physical, as we can tell at CES at the beginning of the year. So we got to start talking about the partnership between Boston Dynamics and Hyundai. So unbeknownst to me, I didn't know that Hyundai actually purchased Boston Dynamics, I guess, in June of last year. But through that partnership, Hyundai is actually leveraging the Atlas robots in their factories, so like you're going to see more robots and robotics just throughout this year. From like Roborock, they had robot that could walk upstairs just on board. So it's leveraging computer vision so it can see what's around it. It can bring out the legs, and then you'll see it start walking up the stairs and vacuuming the stairs and then going all the way upstairs. And like, supposedly it has a logic in there that's just not going to make it like how the older ones used to be, where it'll just fall off the edge and of course fall down and there goes your $600 device. Yeah, I mean, just a lot of that. I just think CES this year was really grounded in a tremendous amount of robotics. Like you just saw them literally everywhere, all around.
This year is a year of the robot and introducing or bringing more of those to light, right? We saw some pretty lifelike models last year that came out, and I think this year is going to really take off with some of those agentic-esque and assisting in a lot of different ways. However, we may really start to see things take out over in different industries where jobs are being over for robots and AI. And I hate to say it, but honestly, the way the trend of the technology and the stats are going,
ChatGPT 5.2, which is out. We have Gemini 3. So, we see, what is Gemini 4 going to look like? After Gemini, Grok 5, Grok 4.1, or I think 4.1 or 4.2 is out right now, but coming out, that's anticipated. I really think that's going to move. I think that's the sleeper right now. A lot of people don't really talk about
you
Grok
think that
much,
one's going to move the needle?
I think it's going to move the needle because right now, if you look at Little Marina, Grok 4.1 thinking, I believe, is in second place right now for just the text. So basically how people are using that to kind of, generate text like from a regular large language model. And of course, Gemini 3 is still king, but the fact that it's second, and that model came out, I want to say before ChatGPT, at least 5. I want to say Grok 4.1 came out. Now, I could be wrong on that. So the comments will fact check me if I'm wrong, but the whole point is just like for it to be up there. I just think that the model in itself, it's not ranked pretty low across the board. I think people sleep on the Grok model. And now with the way that these models, you think they're smart now. I mean, I don't know. Do you think we still need them to be smarter, or do you think we need them to do more? What do you think about that?
It depends on what aspect, right? Like if we're talking about smarter models, right, they're already doing things that, okay, we never would have even imagined. Right? But I think doing more is probably a lot better, because if you have these models do things that really take off for what you need, like certain, right? And as long as they're task oriented, right, they can really take off for useful. If you're looking to do something or maybe make two of yourself, right? Yeah, they don't need to be smarter. They just need to do more for what you need done, right?
That's where I'm getting at. Yeah, so
twice as fast, right?
because you can ask them something and they're super smart, right? Like, I mean, like they come back with a very logical kind of response.
Yeah,
and I think
of course.
I don't think it's like earlier days, as we both know, like some of it just wouldn't make sense. Like it just, wasn't. But like now,
and honestly, I think too, because they're almost too smart for their own good, right? That's like maybe I'm writing a paper, or maybe I need to write an email, and it's like, granted, you can tell your prompt and obviously dumb it down some, right? But I would like to see, okay, you'll love this one. I would like to see them, and this probably be on a higher or a different paid tier, but more of a personalized aspect to it, right? And I think that is where some things come in, like Google just announced their personal intelligence, right? So yeah, and I think that's where Google's going down that track. You have a more personalized feed, because hey, if my AI is smart enough like me and talk like me based on what I've already done in like maybe some emails, it goes through my emails, hey, it analyzes how I may communicate, right? And I say, draft me an email. Now it's going to sound just like me and not sound like some, blurted out AI, regurgitated mess, right? So I think
here's my mandate. I'm calling it early in the year. I'm pretty sure by the end of this year, we're going to have some kind of agent that's going to be, and maybe hopefully Google will be the one where you'll have that conversation with your agent, maybe a Gemini, and like, hey, can you respond to them? Or maybe even have it automate some of your responses, like, hey, I drafted this, an email or something like that. Something automatic. I think as we really move into agentic workflows that can actually be hands off and like duplicate you, so that way you can really free up some time. I think this is where the rubber needs to start meeting the road. We have better inferences going on now with inference response times and all this, and there's just a lot of movement that's going on in the industry, like with NVIDIA buying Grok from Elon and the chip maker and all those other things. So like with quicker inference, using different types of things, speed basically is playing a big factor with a lot of the workflows. Higgsfield AI, like how they strung that together, and then also LTX Studio, I think too. I want to say that they released right before the end of the year.
And there are some movies out there, maybe not full feature length, but very, very close, where character portrayal is very seamless throughout. However, I will give you this one tidbit. There was a Golden Globe winning film that used AI voice generating technology.
Man, look at that.
So
Look at that.
The Brutalist this year, or well, for this 2026 year, obviously the film came out last year, but 2026 Globes that just occurred, the Brutalist won, and they use AI voice generated technology. So
Wow.
Higgsfield AI, I'm still heavy. That's one of my heavy favorites for video creation.
I think it's
Nano
smart because they
Banana.
Nano Banana, yeah, but they built an open platform to where you can use whatever model, right? Like Higgsmill for side of it, but essentially they let you plug in whatever video model that you want, and then you can kind of use it on top of their platform or their experience, right? I'll say in Gemini, by the end of the year, you'll be able to have Gemini as an agent handle some of the things autonomously. If it's your inbox in Gmail or whatever the case is, maybe like, hey, can you respond to that or something like this? And you can do it now because you have that natively in there. You have Gemini that's in there, but you still have to kind of prompt it. You have kind of, it comes up with like some suggestions on what to say, but I think they're going to let you be pretty much hands off with some of this stuff in the inbox, which is kind of crazy because now it's like I'm going to have my agent talk to your agent literally when it comes to, AI agents. So,
Let me tell
yeah.
you this. This is going to be my hot take. Very controversial hot take.
Oh, here we go.
Because look, I have a computer science background. However, this will be the year that is the death of CS. The death of computer
Whoa.
science. I say that like this in its traditional form, right? Of what we think computer science is. And not only like, yes, computers will go, there'll still be the traditional ones and zeros assembly. Like I need to hard do these things. But as we look at what coding is today, where we have vibe coding and we have different things, you have to
A
be
lot of vibe
almost
coding going on, man. A
there
lot of
is.
vibe coding
And
going
the
on.
thing
Yeah.
is, it's not just, I'm talking about in a corporate industry, from a corporate perspective, but also
Yeah.
a college perspective. You have to be an expert in machine learning nowadays in order to take a peek behind the scenes of what's going on, to know how to think what's happening with AI now and the LLMs and all that, right? That is premier number one. No longer are the days where you can go out and hard code something straight up and take 10 to 12 hours to build something when there's literal tools out here doing it for a fraction of the time.
I mean, I understand your take. I mean, we'll
Hot
see. I
take.
guess we have to track that with that. That's a
Scolding.
hot take for sure. That's yeah.
Scolding.
That's a hot take. I think from my perspective, you still need the whole spectrum of like I think you'll need, 'cause, like in traditional, you need to have your product people and you have your engineer.
Guarantee you that value of a computer science degree at what it is may have a lot less value than it does right now. And what that means is, what that makes from that, in my opinion, is degrees in what they may call it an AI degree now, a machine
I think they
learning
have
degree.
some of those,
They
but I still
do.
think I like MCS because don't they teach you? There was classes that you all had to take in that degree plan that teach you how to attack a problem, right? I think there's
Yeah,
still something in that, like the logic of
there
like how
is.
you attack a problem,
Absolutely.
and I think that part of it will still persist because you still, even with you right now, probably code up something and develop something vibe coding maybe quicker or better or more stable than somebody who hasn't developed it all because you know
Oh
what
no,
to ask, like you
absolutely.
know what to do. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So there is something, like I said, but it's just one of the things where it's going to be really rough for me out into the job market to land something without knowing how to do something with machine learning. So that's
It
what I
makes a
mean
lot of
by the
sense.
death of it. It's just like, can't not sit there and ignore what